Hello friends, welcome to this video on subject-verb agreement. Here we shall solve a few previous year questions. For a better conceptual understanding, please watch our concept videos, rules videos and other practice videos. Now let's begin by revising the concept with an example.
In this sentence, can we identify the verb? Yes, you might have identified it correctly. It is goes. Now in this sentence, who goes or what goes? When we ask this question, who or what, on the verb, the answer gives you the subject of the verb. So in this sentence, who goes? Ram goes. Therefore, Ram is the subject of the verb. So, in other words, the verb goes refers to the word Ram. Therefore, Ram is the subject of this verb. Remember, subjects can be either nouns or pronouns only. In this sentence, Ram is singular. Therefore, the verb goes also is singular. The subject is singular. Therefore, the verb also has to be singular. This is known as subject-verb agreement, where the subject matches with or is same as the verb. In competitive examinations, the distance between the subject and the verb can be increased, thereby creating a confusion. Now let's understand this concept. Now this is a new sentence. In this sentence, the phrase along with has been added. Now, can we identify the verb? The verb is goes. Let's ask the question on the verb, who goes or what goes? Is it Ram who goes? Is it Sham who goes? Or is it Ram and Sham who go? If it is Ram and Sham, then the verb goes is not correct because it will be go, because it will be plural. Now let us understand whether the subject of this verb goes is singular or whether the subject of this verb goes is plural. If the subject is singular, then the verb also will be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb also will be plural. This can be easily understood with the help of the golden rule of subject-verb agreement. Now, what is the golden rule? The rule says that the subject of a verb will never lie within a prepositional phrase. And what is a prepositional phrase? A prepositional phrase is a group of words which begins with a preposition and ends before the verb. So, in this sentence, can we identify the prepositional phrase? In this sentence, the prepositional phrase is along with Sham. Prepositional phrase begins with a preposition, along is a preposition, with is also a preposition and ends before the verb. Remember, goes is a verb. Our rule says the subject of the verb will not lie within a prepositional phrase. Therefore, Sham is not the subject of this verb. The subject of this verb is Ram, and Ram is singular. Therefore, goes is correct. This golden rule of subject-verb agreement will solve many of your problems. But there are some other rules also which you should know. So let's start solving some questions. You may pause the video here and try it yourself. Let's begin. Step number 1. Identify the verb. This sentence has numerous verbs. First one is exist. Second one is needs. You have to, you have be, and you have examined. For subject-verb agreement, we need to concentrate on two verbs, exist and needs. Step number 2. Locate the prepositional phrase, if any. You might have noticed the prepositional phrase in this sentence is this. It begins with, which is a preposition, and ends at and, just before the verb needs. Step number 3. Find the subject of the verb or verbs. Verb number 1, exist. What is the subject of this verb exist? Who exists or what exists? The answer to the question is issues exist. So the verb exist refers to the noun, plural noun, issues. Therefore, issues is the subject of the verb exist. Issues being plural, the verb exist is also plural. Subject is plural here and the verb is also plural. Therefore, there is subject-verb agreement. Hence, there is no problem here. This part is correct. What about the second part? Needs. So, let's find the subject for needs. Remember, the golden rule says that no word within a prepositional phrase can be the subject of the verb needs. Therefore, the word system cannot be the subject of the verb needs. The subject of the verb needs is again issues. Issues being plural, the word needs also has to be plural. This is our step number 4, where we need to correct the verb according to the subject. Subject here is issues, it is plural. Therefore, the verb has to be plural. So, how to make needs plural? Cut the S. Need to be examined. For beginners, you should remember that verbs without S are plurals and verbs with S are singular. Similarly, nouns with S are plurals and nouns without S are singular. Example for noun, chair, singular. Chairs, plural. You may pause the video for a while and try it yourself. Okay, now let's see how to solve this question stepwise. Step number 1. Identify the verb. The verb is are visiting. There are two verbs, visiting being the main verb and are being the auxiliary verb. Are visiting. Now, let us ask the question on the verb, who are visiting or what are visiting? Is it Harish who is visiting, or is it the family who is visiting, or is it both Harish and family who are visiting? Apparently, it is both Harish and family who are visiting. Therefore, the verb are seems to be correct because the subject Harish and family makes it plural and the verb has to agree with the subject. Therefore, the verb has to be plural. But our analysis is not yet over. Let us go to step number 2. Locate the prepositional phrase, if any. The prepositional phrase here is along with his family. Here, the word family comes within the prepositional phrase. Therefore, family cannot be the subject of the verb are. Therefore, the subject of the verb are is Harish. Harish is singular. Therefore, the subject has to be singular. So it has to be is. Are is not correct. Therefore, the answer to the question is option 2. You may pause the video for a while and try it yourself. Let's begin. This question is a little different than what we have encountered so far. This question has what we call as a correlative, a neither nor combination. The list of other correlatives are coming up on your screen as we speak. For correlatives, the rule is the verb agrees to the nearest subject. So step number 1, identify the verb. We have already done that. It is where. Remember, there is another verb here which is quit. But quit is in the past tense, so it does not qualify for subject-verb agreement. Where is the verb. Here, we do not have to locate the prepositional phrase because here we have a correlative. The rule is identify the subject which is near the verb. Step number 2, identify the subject near the verb. It is knowledge. In correlatives, you have two words which come together. One is knowledge, the other one is skill. Both qualify to be subjects. However, the rule is the verb will agree to the nearest subject. That is knowledge. Next step. Correct the verb. Knowledge is singular. Therefore, the verb also has to be singular. The answer is. Therefore, the answer is option 4.